So welcome back to the channel. It's 7:15 at Newcastle, 1 mile handicap, 23,000 traded, so we're in the early stages of trades, and we're looking at two horses we think might have a chance of running decent races. Now notice I didn't say we're going to have the horses that will win the race. Nobody can really predict that. What you can do as a trader is look at prices and say, well, we think we're going to get some trades out of these horses. So Testarossa is one that we're already started on, and we've got 9 bets in the market. 4 of those have been taken, so we've got £20 already invested. And what we've done, we've put those back in a lay position, and we're now in a position where we've got 5 bets at the top and 4 underneath. Now if we do the same with Lost at Sea, you can see we're going to start that off again roughly the same position, 5.3, 5.4, going up to a point of 6.2, and we're going to see if we can trade in this area. Now the reason I've left one at the top is so that I know that the bets end at 6.2. If I was to put another £5 in here, then I wouldn't know what was up at the top. But because we've got this line here where there's no money in the market, I know that that's the limit of the betting that I'm prepared to go to. So what we've got on Testarossa, like we said, we've got 4 bets taken and we've got these 5 here. Now what we're going to show today is a strategy called offloading, and it just means that it keeps you a little bit safe from losing a lot of your stake on any particular race. So what we've got is 4 layers here and 5 at the top. So that is what we would call a top heavy position, and that's fine. That's what you want to keep in mind right throughout your trading. Now if this £5 got taken and the £5 was put in back here, we would then have a top light position where we've got more money on the lay side than we would have on the bet side. So what we would want to do then is trade one of these £5 off at a break-even position. So we're back to the position where we've got 5 at the top and 4 at the bottom. Now that break-even position is currently at 5.8, but we're not in a position yet to do the offloading. We're only going to do the offloading if the top has got less money on than the lay side. So let's have a look how the market carries on. So far there's no real panic involved. We've got 5 at the top, 4 at the bottom, and it looks like there's a nice heavy block coming in here at 6.2. So we should be able to trade these prices 70-80% of the time. Now what we've got over here is Lost at Sea, who's currently at 5.0. I'll just click that down, 5.0, and we've got the first trade to come in at 5.3, and if that gets taken we'll put that back in at 5.1. so we're just taking small chunks out of the market, and hopefully we'll be able to show you what we mean by the offloading technique. Now if you want to know how to put these figures in, you can see when I move into the lay column it shows you the hedge in the middle column. So to put that in, if you want that facility, then right click on the top of the race, go down to ladder layout and across to profit and loss, and then put it into the bet column. You can put it in its own column if you want, but that will make these a lot wider. So what we're going to do, into ladder layout, profit and loss, and you can see I've already got that in the bet column. It may well be turned off, so you just need to click on in bet column and that feature will be available to you on any runner in the particular race. You can see we don't have anything there because we've not got any money invested presently on that horse, but Testarossa is the only one we've got money on, and as you can see the figures come up nicely there. So that would be a minus 10 pence, and down here if we traded all the money at that price matched, we would have a hedge profit of 1.24. Now that bet has been taken at 5.8 and we can put that in again at 6. So you can see now we've got a better position for trading because we're very light at the bottom. We've only got 3 bets here on the lay side, and we've now got 6 bets at the top. So that's what you want to keep in mind when you're doing your trades. Ideally you would like to be top heavy in all the trades that you want to put in. So lost at sea at the moment is very top heavy because we haven't got any money on that at all. So while you do want to make some trades, this is a better position because you've got some trades in the market and you've got a top heavy position. And if you look now, the break even point is at 5.8 and that is 0.16. So there's no real panic at all on this bet at the moment. But we both know that that position doesn't always hold true. So you might have a position where the price just goes up and a lot of this gets taken, and then most of the money is on the lay side, and we'll deal with that if that position arrives. So chunk of money just come in at 5.7, took that bet. We're going to move that 5 back up to 5.9. More money coming in, taken at 5.6, and we're going to move that up now to 5.8. So that again is a good position. We've got most of the money going back up there. We've only got one lay bet in the market, that's at 5.5. The hedge position is strengthened, so we're hoping that the market will go back up to take a few more of these trades, and then we can lay them off and improve that position on Testarossa a little bit further. You can see this market's just moved up. That should be at the bottom, so I'm just going to move that down so we've got this at the base and we've got that visible number at the top, and we know the bets end here. And now the bet at 5.5 has been taken, so just a few simple bets and we're starting to build potential profit on Testarossa, which is at 3.80, and that's after commission has been taken into consideration. So as expected, the market's pushed back up. We've had the bet at 5.7 taken, and we're going to try and repeat the process again, put the 5 back down at 5.5, and we've still got these now in the market, and you can see we've still got a very top heavy position with just the one lay and the 4 back bets on this right hand side. And if you can do quite a lot of trades in this position. This is a healthy position to be in because you're just taking little snippets out of the market and there's no real panic. Your liability isn't going into the red. You've still got a hedge that you can get out of if the market turns. And as you're building this up, as you're building these little bits of profit up, then it will be easier for you to trade as the race gets closer to post time. And now that we've made a few successful trades, you can see the offloading position, the point where it goes green or close to break even, has now moved up to 6.4. So we can trade a little bit higher before we're getting into the red. So the position moved, remember before it was at 5.8 where the red came in, and now the position, because we've made a few successful trades, the offloading position has now moved up to 6.4. And that's, so if we move off that one, you can see that that turns into the red. So this now becomes the offloading position instead of 5.8. So I'll just put those back, and we're going to do the trades between these positions for as long as possible. See if we can build up a little bit more, and we'll have a look at the hedge as we get closer to the race. So we've done a few more trades. We've got in a position where the hedge part of the bet is round about £1, so we have got a little bit to play with, but we're getting to the position now where we might need to do some offloading. And you can see the time is now moved on to 46.05, and we made a little bit of trade on lost at sea. That just clipped in at 5.3. We laid that off, so that's why that's a little bit lower, but it didn't fully take the 5 before it went down, and we just tidied that up. But the main action is over here on Testarossa. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to delete all these, cancel all those bets, and I'm going to concentrate on just this one horse. Because we're inside the last 45 minutes, I don't want to have, especially if you're a beginner, you don't want to have too many things going on at once. It's okay to have 2 or 3 bets going if you're still a good way off post time, but as you get closer, you want to be focusing on one horse possibly if you're just starting off and your experience is a little bit limited. So let's just watch the market, see if this 5 gets taken and drops down to this position, and then we will have a top light position, and I'll show you what the next technique is for the offloading part of this particular trade. So you can see there is money coming in. We are top heavy in our bets. Don't make the mistake of thinking that the top heavy part is this part here. This is the part where you want to be looking. So there's 5 bets at the top, 4 at the bottom. That means the trading position is top heavy. So a little bit of money came in, got taken, 5.8 got taken, and we're now in a stronger position than we were before because we've got more
Fully
on
matched.
the bet side. That got taken, that gets put over here, and we're back to this fragile position where we've nearly on the offloading position. So if that gets taken, comes down here, we're into an offload situation. So what we're going to do now, we can see we've got a bit of money here, which is 212. The market is undecided which way we want to go. So what we're going to do, we are in the green, and we can see we can put that in. So what we're going to do, we're going to offload this £5 and we're going to put that in here.
Fully matched.
Once we've put that in, we can move that down to the bottom and then put the money that we offloaded here at the top to 7.2. And that just gives us a better cushion because we've now got a very top heavy position 25 minutes from post time. So we've done a few more trades. We've got down to 5.9, 5.8. That one's just about to be taken and there's not
Fully
much left
matched.
in there as well. So I'm going to put that back up there, and we've still got this £1.52 in at 5.6. Now as we get into the last 20 minutes or so, you want to be thinking about closing your position. If you've got a profit that you're happy with, then
Fully
think about
matched.
closing your position on this particular market. And we've got all the money out. Now 20 minutes, I'm happy with what we've done, so I'm going to take all the bets out of the market. So just to recap, that was a position where we had strength at the top, a top heavy position where we had more money at the top. At no stage did we have more money at the bottom, and that was pretty easy trading for a horse that traded round about 5.8, something like that. So we've managed to do that quite easily. We didn't get into that negative aspect where we've got more money at the bottom, getting into difficulty. So this has been quite an easy trade, and we did that offloading. You can see what we did at the end. We offloaded one of the prices that was a bit lower down, pushed it up, and then we moved the whole market down and put the price in here, and that safeguarded just the profit that we'd already made. So what we can do now, we can relax. We are out of the market with 20 minutes to go. Most people who do trading, they kind of get to this position and then think, right, well, I'm going to go back in the market, I'm going to do a few more trades. But as you get closer to post time, then the market starts to be a bit more violent, and you could lose what you've actually got already safely in the bank. So that's a nice position to be in. We've got a few trades. We can hedge this position, or we can leave the money to run on Testarossa. In the next part, we're going to look at a trade where it starts getting a little bit negative and we've got minus signs here, and what we do with the offloading to help the position become a little bit more stable. So that's for the next video. Hope you've enjoyed this one. We will just see it through to the end, see what the outcome of the race is. So hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Stay around for part 2 where we look at the negative aspect. So we're inside the final 15 minutes. This is the point where if you're in profit or you've got a potential profit, you need to think about what you're going to do as the race unfolds. So are you going to play in running, or are you going to leave it as it is and hope that Testarossa wins the race, or are you going to move some of the profit from Testarossa onto Lost at Sea? And this is a topic we're going to cover again in another video in a bit more depth. But for now, what I've done at the top, I've changed the stake to £1.50. Now the £1.50 on Testarossa, I'm going to lay that at this price here, so that gives me a profit of £7 on Testarossa. Now the reason I'm doing that
Fully matched
is because I want to put £1.50, and you can see you've already put the stake up. I want to put £1.50 on Lost at Sea. So using the stake and moving over here, I can now put that price on Lost at Sea, and that will take that price up to £7.39.
Fully matched.
So I've now got 2 horses running for me, even though I only traded on basically Testarossa most of the time. Lost at Sea, I fancy a little bit more, Testarossa has a good chance, and of course there's a chance that none of these two will win, one of these will win, but we don't lose anything on the race. We can possibly win on 2 horses. So that's a strategy we're going to look at in more depth in later videos, but for this video what we've looked at is the offloading of a positive position, keeping that top heavy betting phase, and lastly what we did there, just shifting some of the profit away from the one that we've traded and putting it on to a second horse that we fancy a little bit more. So we're just going to wait for the race to start. It's about 13 minutes off now. Like I said, this has been the positive side of offloading. In the next video we're going to look at a position where the market turns slightly against you and you can do some offloading from a negative position just to make your trading a little bit stronger. So while we're waiting, let's just have a look at some of the graphs. Mutarakez, pretty much a straight line. You'll find that with markets with high liquidity and on the fancied runners you'll get this straight line effect here. On Arneson, just went up from an initial play, that was probably last night, these few places, and then leveled off and traded between a certain bracket. Zabil Star has been the subject of a little bit of backing midway through the afternoon, but again the next one along, Kentucky Connect, once the early skirmishes are done we've got this straight line, and then we've also had a look at Lost at Sea and Testarossa, the one we've been playing on. So we played on that one in this bracket here from 5.5, 6.6, and it's gone, you can see 5.5, 6.6 there. As you get closer to post time this could start to dramatically go up, or if you get a bit of money for it, it could dramatically come down. So this is probably the position that you want to start getting out the market. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, if you've got a good profit, then get out the market, stay out, don't do any more trading. So this is the nice area of trading where you've got a few minutes before the race, you've all set up, you've got your profit or potential profit in the market, you're not doing any more trading, you're just waiting for the race to start, and then we can switch to show the silks. So right click on the top, go down to options, click on silks, and that will bring them up. Now I'm watching this, or I will be watching this on the monitor next to me, and I'll be able to see the colours. Now you can see the reason I don't have the silks up all the time is because that starts going off the screen and you've not got a full view. But once you're in a position where you can say I'm not going to do any more trade, just put the silks up and you can watch the race from that viewpoint. So we're just past post time, waiting for the horses to load up. One or two going into the stalls. Shouldn't be too long before we're off. Lost at Sea 3.90. Got nothing in running, we're just hoping that Lost at Sea or Testarossa will win, but if they don't, like we said before, we won't lose on the so sucker running. Just watching the prices. Lost at Sea coming down slightly, 3.1. Eight furlong race, so halfway is going to be about here. That's where they'll hit the 4 furlong marker. 2 furlong marker is going to be about here. Lost at Sea into the 2.9s, 2.8. Still a lot of the race to go, so it must be up with the pace, leading. Just glancing at the monitor, it has got a length lead, so that's why the price is coming down. Just trying to dictate from the front. Still got a 2-length lead. Price beginning to drift as the challengers come. Price going out. And Zabil Star coming through with Arneson. So these two fighting out the finish. Arneson has won the race, so these two didn't really run up to form. Lost at Sea ran at the front for a long way. Testarossa was at the back, never really challenged. So that's unfortunate that no profit was made on the race, but you can see the benefit of the system that we're using. Try and keep your bets in the profitable side, so you want to be more at the top, more bets at the top than you've got at the bottom, and offload positions as you get closer to time. A good race to look at. Hopefully you'll put that technique into operation. So let's have a look at the next video. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to look at a position that goes slightly wrong. Thanks for watching. So welcome back to the second part of the video, and we're going to look at a few situations regarding offloading and a few other things as we go along. Now this has been set up on purpose, and you'll notice that I am going in very early. Now that's just to create the positions that we want to look at. Normally we wouldn't go in this early. You can see Amazing Red there, we've gone in at 11. Now that's not drifted at all, so you can see that the positions that I've set up are actually being staged. Coleman has drifted out to 12, but we have actually gone in a little bit earlier just to create a little bit of chaos, and we've got quite a lot of bets going down to even 7.6. So we are in a delicate position with Coleman. Island Brave we've traded at 5.2, that went all the way up to round about 6, and we traded that back down again, so we've got a little bit of potential profit on that one. Fearsome likewise. Again, you can see the graphs over here, they're fairly straight. Now normally when we're doing trading we would want the graph to be drifting out pretty quickly, but like I said, we're going to set this position up and then look at some of the techniques that we use to just make positions a little bit more stable. And if we do get in other positions that we can talk through, then obviously we'll deal with that as that arrives. Now Azari is a big outsider, and you can see not much drift on that either, so we've set that up, and we are in a bit of a tricky position with that one as well. Now I've kept the stakes small because obviously these are staged positions and I don't want to get too much into the staking. We're just looking at technique, so that's why I've kept the stake small. If we make a small loss on the race, I'm not going to bother too much as long as I get the message over about the techniques that we're using. So that's the position. The favourite is Regicide, which is a little bit too short, 2.72. Comes into the race in good form, although it is up in class. Shaba is on a retrieval mission. Form is, last run is okay going back to last year, but it's overall form is not really worthy of trading at 17, so I've left that. I would want to see that go even a little bit higher for a stage setup, so I've left that one alone and keep in line as no form at all. We're not going to gain anything from looking at that one, and you can see the graph over there had gone up to 100, and I'm still not interested in it because purely the form isn't good enough. So we're left with Amazing Red, who's got decent form. Coleman, perhaps first or second best form in the race, I would say, and I'm a little bit surprised that it is the one that's drifted out. Island Brave won quite a few races recently. Fearsome needs to improve on its form. The price is okay. It's not value at 20, but it's okay for a little bit of trading. And Azari could come back to form, and if it does, we've got a little bit of a big price going up on that one. So these are the 5 that we're going to trade. These are the positions that we're going to look at. Now you can see we looked at a position of top heavy in the previous video, and Amazing Red is in that position, so it's a top heavy position where we've got 7 bets and 3 layers in that particular market. Now Coleman looks like we've only got 4 layers there and 6 at the top, and it looks like it's a top heavy position, but as we've looked at before, if you scroll down, it's a massively top light position because we've done a lot of trades going down there. This one, Island Brave, we're back to the equilibrium with that one. We haven't got any outstanding money. Fearsome, we've just got 3 in this position, and we've got 7 here, so that's the top heavy position, and Azara is a top light position because we've got 7 at the bottom and 3 at the top. You can see that is a block there at 53, so that's a handy position to have. Now if that block wasn't there, we might see the price rising a little bit further, but because that block's there, it gives you a little bit more confidence that the price is going to fluctuate now between 65 and 50, even going a bit further down. If that was removed, then the price could obviously go up. Now let's have a look at the break-even positions. Amazing red, if I hover over here, the break-even position is only at 11.5. So you can see when you've got a top heavy position, it's not that far away to be breaking even. On Coleman, we've got quite a bit of money invested. We've got £18, and you can see the price is in the red there. Now what we need to do, look at where we need to be
matched,
for this price to break even, and that price comes in at 10. So even though we've got a lot of bets in this particular market, we've got a break-even price of 10, which is not that far removed from the position that it's in presently. So I am not too worried about this position because we've got some money coming in at 12 and we're not that far away from break-even, even though we've got 14 lay bets in this particular market. Island Brave, obviously no trades on that one, and then we've got Fearsome, who've just been laid at 18.5 and 19, and the break-even position is already in place. So we've got a very top heavy position on Fearsome. We're not really in any trouble with that one. And Azari, if we look at that, the break-even position is at 50. So again, not that far to go,
fully
even
matched,
though it is a top light position. So we do have this position here where we on 0.11 in the green. So if it came down to that position, we might be able to move one of these up, take the odds, and then move the market down and put the price up here. But we'll cover that when we get to it. So just put that back in, and we've got £2 on Fearsome. We've got another one taken there at 19.5, and we're going to put that back in at 18.5. So you're up to date with the whole positions, and the time is 10 o'clock in the morning. The race goes off at 3 o'clock. Now obviously this is not going to be a 5-hour video. We're going to just cut and paste a little bit when we see some developments, and we'll go through the techniques involved.
fully matched,
Now we do have another race at 4:20, and that's on Sweet Symphony, and again we might look at the position on that one later on. Just feeling for a price here. This is what these small stakes are. We're just feeling for a price, and you can see on the graph over on the right hand side, that one is actually drifting. So we're going to play this one normally. If this price continues to drift, then we're going to put the heavier stakes in, but we're going to just monitor that position, and we're going to concentrate on the 3 o'clock. You can see I've also got the 1 o'clock at Lingfield opened up. We're not having any trades on that. That's just to tell me that the first race at Lingfield is at 1 o'clock, and when that race is off, then I can watch it on the monitor. So we're not, even though we're not trading, I do like to watch the races, and this will remind me that there's a race at 1 o'clock that I need to watch on the monitor. So I'll put that in place, and then I won't miss the start of racing in the afternoon. So you can see the position has changed quite dramatically on Coleman now, and we're actually in a profit situation. The price has gone down to 10, but there is a little bit of money now coming in here, and we haven't got much resistance on the lay side, so we're just going to wait. Normally we would take the £10 that we've got underneath here for all the pounds, and we would put that in at the 8 and just reduce the liability on it. But because there isn't that much resistance on this lay side, we think the price might come down a little bit further, and then we can possibly hedge it and take the whole lot of the money out of this particular trade position. So I'm going to put that £2 back in at 11. Remember, the £2 was taken at 10 as confirmed over here, and we're now from a position that we were in of minus £2 plus on the hedge up here, we're actually in a positive position.
Fully
So that
matched.
£2's been taken. You see the hedge going up now to 41. I'm going to put the £2 back in up towards the top there at 10.5, confirmed over here at 9.8, and we've got another £2 here at 9.6. So I'm not going to do anything just yet on this. If I thought the price was going to move back up because there was little resistance, I would probably hedge all the money out and start this trading again from a positive position. Now let's have a look at the other
Fully
ones.
matched.
We've got Amazing Red going out, and we've now got this split of 50-50 on this, so it won't be too long before this becomes a top light position. If that gets taken, this then becomes a top light position. Island Brave still not moved, still not taken off 5.2, and Fearsome is in a good position because we've only got 2 lay bets in the market. Azuri still in this position where we've got the block in, or somebody's put the block in for us. We haven't put that money in, and the position is that we can break even at 50, so we're only a couple of ticks down to break even, so we might have to do something with that if the price comes down. But the main trading position that we're looking at here, our main focus is on Coleman. Now you're probably also wondering why there's £2 on Coleman and £1 on everything else. Well, that's because after the first 10 bets we've got the price going out from 7.2 out to 12, and if you're in that position and you think the price is now getting to a decent mark, you can actually increase your stakes as the price goes out, as long as you don't think the price is going to drift a lot further. For example, if you did that on Keep in Line, you'd be in a little bit of trouble now, but we didn't think the form was any good on Keep in Line, and the form was quite respectable on Coleman, so we were prepared to double up the stakes on here. And if you do that, it's quicker then to break even when the price does eventually just come down even a little bit. You can see the graph on the right. The price hasn't fallen that much. It's only fallen from 12 down to about 10. So we don't need that much of a dip just to get back level with our profits. So as expected, the £2 did get taken, and also one of the other bets that we had on the £1 stake, that got taken. So we're now down to the bet side of 9.8 and the lay side around about 9.2, and you can see the hedge now going up to 0.48, which gives us roughly about £5 profit if we cashed out at this position. But we can wait again because we're not in any real problems, although it is top light at the moment. We're still in a good position. We've got the profit up here, so we're going to just continue to see if this gets taken a little bit further down, and then we can actually hedge out. We will probably be moving some of these up just to make the position a little bit more stable. So from a position that we were in on Coleman, just holding your nerve, increasing your stakes a little bit, then you will be able to turn that profit around. On the other places, we've still got Amazing Red split 5-5, Island Brave nothing, Fearsome down to £2, and Azari also still roughly the same position. Now you can see the price has been taken on Snowy Winter, and that was taken at 8.4, but that was just a target price to tell us that that has been taken. And I'm going to put another target price in at 9.4, so it may be that we're going to get this position sorted, but I want a little bit higher. And you can see the money now coming in at 8.8. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this money out, and we're going to lay the bet off
fully matched
here.
Fully matched.
That takes it down. That's £1 in there, and I'm not going to be greedy. We're going to take that out as well.
Fully matched.
And also I think we'll just hedge that out from that position as well. So we've taken all that money. We're in a good position now with Coleman, and I'm going to take that out. So we're going to start again with this position. Now you can see the profit on Coleman has now gone up. Potential profit on Coleman has now gone up to £14. Because we were patient, because we waited, then that money came in. There was a bigger dip this time, and we were able to lay out and lock in some of the profits. So just looking at the other runners, Miss Miniaty is a non-runner, so that's why we've not featured that one at all. So that was the position on Coleman. We were in a little bit of trouble, but because we've increased the stakes, because we waited for the price to dip a little bit, then we were able to cash out, and we've now got a nice profit, or a potential profit, running into this particular runner. So a couple of things done now on Coleman. We've put a target price in at 10 just to see if the price starts to go back up again and we can make a few more trades, but that's just a target price 0.01. I've also moved it out to the right hand side and moved Amazing Red in, so that I've got the ones that I'm trading currently all in the middle, and I can view that quite easily. Time has moved on slightly. We are at 25 past 11. Let's have a look at some of the positions. Coleman, we've put the target price in at 10. Zari, we've moved over to this side, and that's still hovering round about the same place as it was. Amazing Red is now become the problem bet, and that's all because we went in at the early price. Now remember, we're staging this so that we can look at techniques. Now normally we would get probably interested in this horse round about now, because it is 15, it's up 50% from a low of 10, so we would probably go in around about this stage, but because we're trying to look at the different techniques, then we've got all these bets to get rid of underneath here. So we've got £10 in the market, and we're just doubling the stakes from 16 onwards. That position up there goes up to 21. So again, we're going to do, or trying to do, the same as we did with Coleman, trying to change that potential hedge loss into a profit. Fearsome, we're almost out of that. We're only 27 pence still to get rid of, which came from this position here, but we're more or less out of that, and you can see we've got another nice profit on that particular horse. So we may well just take that money out and concentrate on the rest of the horses. I've also moved Island Brave out of the eye line, put a target price in at 5.2. I've got rid of the pounds stake on that one, so we're going to start again on that. So the three that we're concentrating on is Fearsome, which we're going to just get rid of all the money. We might as well do that now. Right click, cancel all bets, and put a target price in on that one as well, so we get interested again if the price goes up to 20, and we can put that in as well. So we're now down to these two horses. Azari is not that far off a break-even point. If you take that out, only 18, and if we take that out, you can see that the profit comes in at 50. So that's roughly the same position as we were in before. Now this position at Amazing Red, we've got quite a bit of work to do on that, because the break-even doesn't come in until we get to this position here at 13. So the market's actually got to dip quite markedly to 13 before we're back into that break-even position. But if we get a few of these higher stakes taken, then that position will start moving up. So I'm going to put those back in, and we'll come back and see how that position has progressed in the next half an hour, say. So it's 1:45. We've got 1 hour 15 minutes before post time. You can see a bit of downward pressure on Amazing Red, and that one has just drifted in. If you look at the graph, gone in from 18 to 15. So we've been able to lay all the £2 bets off, and we've still got this position with all the £1. Now I'm going to get rid of these £2 bets just to get back to the original stakes that we put in. So that one will go up to the top,
Fully
and you can
matched.
see that these now have been reduced to £8, and the break-even point is at 14. Now we are light at the top with the bets, so we're going to try and lay some of these off that are a little bit lower down, that we don't think now the price is going to go back to. Remember, we went in early, and now we're fighting to get the position. So these are, remember, staged positions that we want to look at. Normally, like we said, we would go in around about 15, but we went in early just to show the technique that we use to reduce liability on some of these more dangerous trades. And obviously, when you're playing for bigger stakes, it becomes important that you don't lose stakes as well as making profit. So that's the two sides to trading, obviously, making the profit on the one hand and not losing on the other. If you can cut out your losses and enhance your profit, that's the key to success on the exchange trading platform. So we're down to £8 now. Like I say, we're breaking even here at 14. If the price comes down to here, then we'll move some of these up and just offload them, what's called offloading, at the green price. So for example, if we wanted to move that £1, we just click on it and move it up to this position, and then we would move down and put one in at 16. But we're not at that position just yet, so I'm going to leave that money at the bottom there. Now sometimes you can get quite a lot of money just coming in, taking the whole lot, and that would be beneficial to us. Over on this side, Azari is the other one that we've been trading, and that one is still hovering between 65 and 55. Not much movement on that, and you can see that position has now come down to a green position, but there's no money there, so we can't obviously take that price just yet. Hopefully we'll get some money in there, and then we can show the offloading to full effect. So what we're trying to do on this amazing red is to get this back to a top heavy position. Now the market has turned, it's gone back up, so we've had to take some of the prices again, and this time we're back up to the £2 bet. So you see how that works. That's been taken at 14.5, 15 and 15.5. That's been pushed up. We've got £10 in the market, so the £2 bets come in, and the break-even point is now shifted to 14.5. So that's when we're trying to lay off some of the money that we've still got in. We're still very heavy on the lay side. We've got 10 bets in there. We want to reduce that to 5 if we can, but we want to do that at the break-even point, which is, like we said, at 14.5. And it may be that the price again goes up and we can take these bets, and the break-even point will then move upwards. So the £2 bet taken at 16, we put that back in at 15. You can see on over here 16, £2 stake taken. So we're now back into the £2 bets. So we're about 32 minutes off post time. You can see that our £2 bets have now all been taken, they've all been laid off, and we're now back to the position on the £1 bets. Our hedge position, we are now breaking even at 15, so we can lay some of these bets off at 15. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the £2 bets, so that we're not going to be looking at what's above there. So get rid of the £2 bets, put the £1 bets into place. You see that's the whole of the £1 bets there, £10 in stakes, so all of them are on the lay side, and that's the break even point at 15. So what we could do now is to move some of these up to this 15 position. So I'll move that one up, move the whole market down, and then we're going to wait until this 15 gets taken, and then we're going to put that back up at 16. But because we're close to post time now, within the final half an hour, our main objective for this runner is to lay off at break even or a small profit. And you can see that's now been taken, so I'm going to put that £1 up there. So we have got £8 in the market. Just take that last one out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 in the market. We've got £1 there, and I'm going to put another £1 at 16.5. So we are still top light, but we're looking now, because we're getting near to post time, our objective is to break even on this runner. We've still got profit riding on some of the other runners, and then we can concentrate on Azari. You'll also notice I'm not taking these out just yet, in case we get a big surge downwards. Somebody comes in with
Fully
30,
matched.
£40 and takes the whole lot in one go. So that's got taken at 14.5. We're still not quite into the green. The green position is at 15, so that's where we would be looking to lay our bets off. We've got £7 to get rid of. We've got £3 on the bet side. Just waiting for this market to go downwards towards the 15 mark. You can also see on Azari that block there has been whittled away. We'll have to deal with that at some stage, but that's not looking too healthy with that block now
Fully
removed.
matched.
Taken there at 16, we've got £9 to get rid of. The break-even point still at 15. And now we've got a large chunk of money coming in at 15.5. So we were originally going to look to get out at 15. Because we've
Fully
got this
matched.
big block of money coming in here, that suggests to me that there's more momentum downwards. But don't get carried away with that. You can still be fooled by that. That can get taken out of the market fairly quickly, and you're back to having trouble laying these bets off. So we will err on the side of caution for this one. I'm going to move that in
Fully
to 15,
matched.
move the market down, put that one at the top. We want to get back to a position
Fully matched.
where we are top heavy position. So that's going to move in there, that's going to move down. Take that at 15.
Fully matched.
And now we've got equilibrium with the bets at the top and the
Fully
layers
matched.
at the bottom. And while that block is in there in place, we can expect this market to
Fully
move down.
matched.
So there you go, that's taken the profit as well. Now don't get too greedy at this stage. If you've got a nice profit on the horse, just lay it off. £2 to get rid
Fully
of.
matched.
1,
Fully
2,
matched.
and then cancel all bets. And that's your profit on that one done. So that was in a tricky position. We got rid of that. We've now got a little bit of profit running, or potential profit running onto Amazing Red, and the only one we've got to deal with now is Azari. Now this one has £7.19 currently in the lay side of this particular bet, and we've got two bets, one at 70, one at 75, so it may be that the break-even point is going to be at 55. Now we'll just hang on a little bit further, but if it looks like we're going to have trouble, we can do a couple of things. We can hedge this one out at a loss, just press the button at the top, or we can try and trade it right up to the last minute and see what happens there. If we're feeling a bit optimistic, we've got money in the bank and we're playing for small stakes, then we can trade in running. Now don't be frightened of trading in running. It's not as bad as people make out. The main problem with trading in running is when people put the whole bank at stake, at risk. So if you've got that kind of mindset where you're putting a lot of money on, it's most of your bank, and you're going in running, you could lose quite a big chunk of your bank. We're only playing for small stakes here, so going in running is not going to hurt us that much. But obviously if we can get out with a small profit or a small loss on the hedge, then that would be more advisable, because we do have other runners in the race that can possibly bring us in some cash. So what we're trying to achieve here is to offload some of these bets that are a bit further down at a break-even point, or very close to a break-even point. You can see at 60 we're only 0.18 in the red, and if we look at 55 we're 44, so anywhere between those two is fine for offloading. And like I say, if that does move down to 60, we can start offloading some of these and then putting them back over at the top. So it briefly went to 60. I'm just getting ready to take some of these out and I can put them back in. Now there's a lot of money coming in at 60 there, so the possibility that it's going to go down, but like I said before, don't get fooled into thinking this will stay around forever. It could quite easily just go out of the market altogether. So we've got £7.19. I've took these three out with a view to getting them laid off a little bit higher up. So I'm going to move that down. I can't put them three in just yet because they've not
Fully
been laid
matched.
off. That one has. I'm going to lay that off. 1,
Fully matched.
2,
Fully matched.
3.
Fully
And then I'm going to
matched.
put these back up here. So now we're in a better position. We've only got £3.19. Again, because we're close to post time, I'm going to lay
Fully
that off.
matched.
And also that one.
Fully matched.
And finally
Fully
that one.
matched.
Now this can stay in there. I'm going to get rid of all the back bets because we've actually making a profit now, or a potential profit on Azari, and that £19 is neither here nor there. We can leave it in to see if it gets taken, but I'm not too bothered if it doesn't. So that's more or less the whole lot done. We've got Coleman, that we traded off. We've got Amazing Red, we got into difficulty with both of these two, and now we've got potential profit on them. Azari was another difficult one to trade. Again, just using that theory of offloading at the right prices, we've managed to secure a potential profit on that one. Same with Fierce, so that was a little bit easier. And Island Brave, we did that quite easy as well. So those were the 5 that we traded. Island Brave, not too much. Little bit on Amazing Red, but that was more to get rid of our liability. Same with Azari. Fearsome was quite easy, and Coleman, we always thought that one's going to go back in because it had the form. So that's the state of affairs. We can cash out at the market at £3.63 if we wanted to right now, and take that profit on board from a position where, like I said at the start, this was a staged video showing what happens or what could happen if you go in at the wrong price. So we purposely went in at the wrong prices just to show you the techniques that you can use to get out of trouble and turn things around. So obviously the best thing to do is wait for the right prices. Don't go in at the prices that are too low, but if you do happen to make a mistake, then don't panic about it. Follow the techniques that we've showed you in this video, and that's about it really. So this is the second part of offloading. I hope you've enjoyed that video. What we're going to do, we've got a choice. We can either hedge the market or we can go in running. I'm favouring part hedge, part backing Coleman. So we'll sort that out and then we'll come back for the race. So that's the position we're looking at. We've hedged out of Island Brave, Fearsome, Azari and Amazing Red. We have partly hedged out of Coleman, but we've got more money riding onto that one than we have all the others. So we're going to wait for the race. We'll see what wins the race. From a bad position on a couple of these horses, we've managed to turn it around. We've managed to get at least some profit from small stakes, with the possibility of winning a little bit more if Coleman actually wins. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. We'll wait for the race and then we'll call it a day for this particular technique. So that's it, the race is off. This is over 1 mile 4 furlongs, so plenty of time for prices to fluctuate in this particular market. Coleman trading at 6.4. Island Brave still round about 4. Regicide 3.35. Amazing Red is below 10. So 6 furlongs is round about here, and then 3 furlongs will be around about here. Still quite a long way to go yet. Regicide has dipped under 3.0. Amazing Red now down to 6.8. Coleman also around about 6.8. About halfway now. Azuri down to 80. Down to 50. So we're getting towards the last couple of furlongs. Regicide 1.34, 1.31, 1.28. Coleman now trading under 2, 1.70, and Coleman has won the race. So that's a nice result, that's a nice return for us. Coleman was the one that we thought might just have the form edge. Regicide ran a good race. Azari, if you did get into trouble with that and traded up to 150, you could still get out, going in play and trading at half the odds for double the stake. It went down to 50. So again, like I've said all along, don't be frightened of going in play. You can win big money just by trading it to the last minute and then laying it in running at half the odds but double the stake. So I hope you've enjoyed that. We managed to win £7.74 on the race, but more importantly is the techniques that you've learnt that you're going to take into your own trading. So thanks for watching and happy trading.